Good afternoon, everyone. First, I would like to give a sincere thank you to the organizers for giving me the last talk on the last day of this conference. But somebody has to be last, and I guess we could say we saved the best. But we've seen some presenters here who have been around for a long time. And we're the new kids on the block. We've been in business as the New Aero Minerals just since August. We're in our 4th month now of operation. So we're really just getting our feet on the ground. And it's really nice to be able to come here and introduce people to us. We are a result of a merger of a private company with some African assets and an 8-year-old Australian company called Aero Minerals, listed company. We put them together. We did more or less a merger of equals with some assets on both sides. And as of August, we're up and running. We're about a $6.5 million small market cap company. We've got a little over $1 million in the bank. And we've got some good shareholders. There's one called Gen Gold that you can see here on the pie chart. They are the people who vended in the African assets. And we've got Capital Drilling, who came in on our rights issue in August. And we're also a partner with Independence Group as well on a project in Western Australia. So let me just show you what we've got in our new little company. What we've got is a pretty good team going forward. I won't spend a lot of time on this. We have a board of directors with a lot of experience, companies like Saracen, Goldfields, Macquarie, WMC. I've been with BHP, WMC, Rio Tinto, and we're arguably a bit overqualified for the size of the company, but we're having a good time, and I'll show you that we're actually starting to have a bit of success already. The merger of these companies was kind of interesting because we end up with some of our projects in Western Australia and some of our projects in West Africa. Very similar kind of greenstone belts, very similar kind of endowment, and basically a good place to look for gold. Now I'm going to start with talking about our Burkina Faso assets. As we've heard from other presenters, Burkina Faso certainly has its challenges in terms of security and the strength of the government and the armed forces there. But on the other hand, if you're in the right places, Burkina actually is a place where you can manage the risks. And the good news, of course, is that Burkina has a very good infrastructure in terms of tax and mining code and the way you actually have to work within the rules and regulations. So we feel comfortable in Burkina, but we don't take the risks lightly as well. We've taken steps to mitigate the risks. Now that was a map that I just showed you that showed a general spread of the number of mines in Burkina Faso. In fact, Burkina had 0 mines 12 years ago. Now it has 17 operating mines, 3 mines under construction. And what we have is in red on this map, 4 project areas. We have Bulsa in the center of the country, very, very early stage. We're just starting some sampling there. Way down in the southeast, we see Houndé South, where we've recently announced a deal with Rox Gold, wherein they're contributing $1 million US to earn up to 70% over 4 years. Nako, another very early stage project where we're just getting to grips with what we have there. We've got some preliminary stream sediment samples that look okay. And then we have the Divole project area, in which we have a discovery called Dasa. And we also have a few projects in Western Australia that we will be working on in the fullness of time. But what I'm going to do is I'm going to spend pretty much the next couple of minutes and finish talking about what has become, in the last 3 weeks, our flagship property. So it's a pretty exciting time for us. What we did here, it's not rocket science, but it's science. We went into this area that had no artisanal workings. It had never seen a trench. It had never been actually mapped. There was very little outcrop. It had some regional geophysics. Basically, it was a big piece of red lateritic moose pasture. And we did, but it was in a very good structural location. We targeted it for a very good reason. Went in and did some soil geochemistry, where it worked, where there were residual soils, and did not do any soil sampling where we thought there was transported covers, trying to maximize what we understand about it, because as we like to say, absence of evidence is not evidence of absence. So we didn't want to do is prejudice ourselves in an area where it didn't work. So anyway, did the soil samples, followed up with some auger to be able to get down to the base of the cover, and followed that up with drilling. We followed up auger results up to 6 grams, which is, if you've worked in Burkina Faso, it's pretty good results. So bottom line here is we did 9 traverses of drilling, and everyone did have some pretty serious results. And you can read them here for yourself. I won't read them out to you, but they were up to 45 grams in some of the areas, and we had intercepts of ore grade intercepts in most of our lines. And what that does, of course, is that leaves a big gap in the middle, which has not escaped our attention and is pointed out to us frequently. And I'm pleased to say that with our $1.4 million, we have drills turning right now. And by the end of February, hopefully, we'll announce new results that continue in the middle and give us more than 3 kilometers of strike length. And according to ASX rules, I'm not allowed to tell you how much gold we have in here, and I don't know, of course, but 3 kilometers is a pretty big permissive strike length for this kind of deposit. And so what I'll do is, just to kind of round this out, I'm going to show you a couple of these traverses in section view. Well, you can see starting up from the top, from the AA prime, you can see that what we've got, it's kind of interesting. All we've done is reverse circulation drilling, so we've got a lot of chips. We don't have a lot of structural information yet. There's a lot more about this than we don't know than what we know. But it's sort of looking like the mineralization sits in the blue rocks, which are the sedimentary, the siliciclastic sediments, and they follow more or less the contact with the lower granitoid. We believe, our preliminary hypothesis, this is some kind of a structural contact, and that's our fluid conduit that's bringing the gold-bearing fluids and looking for prospective permeable and porous media, which it's finding in the sediments. So we'll refine that, of course, but the important thing is we got gold. And we've got gold that is consistent along the sections and consistent between sections, and we're hoping, after this next round of drilling, consistent over about a 3 kilometer strike length. So in 4 months, we've gone from signing the documents to being able to present this. So we're pretty excited, and this is really what I wanted to say to you. Now, I will probably just go just to one more slide here and explain that these are 3 new projects, also in Burkina Faso, that we're doing surface, stream sediment, auger, and soil geochemistry on. And this is our pipeline down the road, and we anticipate talking about this later in the year. But right now, rather than trying to dot all the I's and cross all the T's, we're sufficiently excited about being able to drill a discovery, which is rare enough in most of our careers, to tell you that we've got a 3 kilometer long strike length of good economic intercepts of gold. We are currently drilling. We anticipate having results in the next month or so. We have enough money to keep us going well into the year, and we'll probably have to look at raising some more capital down the road. But we're pretty pleased with what we've got, and we invite you to have a close look at us. And I'm very pleased. Want to say once again, thank you very much for sticking around to the bitter end here, and appreciate your attention.